voice broke myself there, which doesn't happen too often, but especially considering I'm 22, so to have a voice break at this age would be a little bit worrying. Yes, I'm not in my mid-40s, don't worry, guys. But we are going into the pistol round, so we can stop making things up. It will be Pisk with the utility, and of course, on the other side of things, Surreal with the kit.
Yeah, and well, as we head towards this one, we could see Luminosity Gaming sending in the brunt of their forces, looking like to be over towards B. Bomb dropped in a kind of neutral position for the rotate between either site, and with how things are set up, wouldn't surprise me if we see them actually head in towards that A site. You have got the bomb making its way down in towards Pop, of course, with Shiz, I guess is what we're going to be dubbing that one, or I don't know. I mean, I haven't really seen much out of the Luminosity lineup, but I don't really know how to pronounce the names being the main issue there. But it's actually Uber to start things off. Does find one out onto Yell, and as Showtime gets a return, it's going to be a little bit back and forth. Finally, the Uber's going to get taken down as well. Showtime chiming in with a second frag, looking for the third, finds one out to Surreal, and he's going to be looking for the fourth. But doesn't find it. Death does fall, and LG, they pick up that first round in the pistol.
Yeah, they make that work, and really nice stuff coming out of Showtime. Looking to see what he can actually do sort of in this LG roster. There will be a couple of AKs coming up for them, and actually, well, there we go. Pisk actually gets coL on the board. He buys a P250, so threw me off a little bit there. But on the other side of things, again, we saw this last time from Complexity. They like to save up for their nades. Uber will actually get a scout in play, but none of them have got armor.
Yeah, not a single drop of armor on the side of Complexity, which is something that we've seen them doing, and they try to save up the money for the round 4 buy. Ape doing some good damage early on, does find one frag, and looking for a couple more, but Showtime's there to trade things out, still doing work, and he's looking for a second frag, finds one on the depth. Android coming in from behind, doesn't find a frag of his own, and now it's a 2-on-3. And Destiny doing some work. Destiny finds one into Android, and just up front with a Galil, going to be able to take down Surreal. It's all on Uber, does have the scout in hand. Well, he's looking to try and do some more work just yet for the side of Complexity.
He's completely blind, just spamming away, going off sound at the moment. And Uber will actually be grabbing another kill. Now, he doesn't have a kit, so the bomb ticking this fast does leave him with a big problem. Of course, we can see just Destiny playing this one out. He's not going to go for anything in this, and he knows that there's no chance for Uber. He will actually do quite a lot of damage, though, and the rest of the team have helped him out with that one. Is you have to realize that there was a couple of other rifles on the board for this one, so the fact that he's got away with one and they've lost two is pretty bad in itself. Now, to correct myself previously, the reason I've heard of Showtime is, of course, because he was standing in for SK. So that when Fur was out there, that's where we know Showtime from. But I'm pretty sure I've seen Yell as well, so... Yeah, as said, I know a little bit about this team, but it is still relatively new. Showtime's only played actually 4 maps for Luminosity, so he has just been that sort of stand-in previously, and now we'll get to see what he can actually do within the roster of Luminosity.
Yeah, LG this time looking to make the way fast and aggressive in towards this B site. It's going to be Death to fall as Yell does take him down. The one-man advantage is going to be leaning the way of LG off the bat. Ape alone and isolated in the site, gets cornered off, and while Shiz finds that frag. Destiny as well, chiming in one on the back of the AK, and Uber and Surreal, all that remain. They are going to be looking to try and save that Galil up into the next round. Surreal falling back as well, just because he doesn't like dying. And while that bomb's going to be going down for the side of LG, that's a plant almost every single round, with the exception of the last. And, well, into this one, we're going to be seeing Surreal on that A site, trying to find an exit frag or two. And, well, he does good damage out onto Piscalina. But now Destiny coming in for the trade frag. Should be able to pick this one up. And yeah, thank you, Surreal, by the way, for giving me a chance to practice the pronunciation of Piscalina. I was trying to avoid saying it. I think you were too, Tom. I got to be honest with you.
I just said Pisk. I'm not going to go full in on that one. I think it's too much of a mouthful, to be honest.
Okay, well, there we go. I'm always down for saying the full thing. It's going to be the third round going the way of LG, however. And Complexity, they do keep a Galil up on the back of Uber for their troubles. It's going to assist them into buying up in round number 4. Thanks to also not going too heavy in round number 2 on the anti-eco. They are going to have a little bit extra cash to splash out on some fancy utility, which is what we are seeing now.
Yeah, Yell the AWPer for this team. And that was something I had stuck in the back of my mind. I was thinking, is that correct? I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong. A bit safe than sorry. But he is actually the AWPer for this team. So definitely looking to see what he can do up against Surreal, who had some moments on this map previously with the AWP. Was doing pretty well in some of the rounds, but didn't see too much of it on Cash up until the second half. And even then, it wasn't really anything prominent. It wasn't something we were singing about. So maybe this will be the map against, I suppose, a lesser opponent. to take this one home. Of course, we've got 2 maps of train, so whoever does lose the first one has the chance to rectify a few mistakes into the second. I suppose that's one positive for this. I can think of many negatives, but at the same time, at least we get to see a lot of train.
Yeah. And trains are a lot of people's things, both fans of Counter-Strike and collectors. And now we're going to be seeing the nades being lined up to be thrown in towards the A site. Currently, LG looking like that's going to be the split coming into effect. You can see they've grabbed control of PopDog, Destiny, and Chiz both here to try and make their way out. And whilst the nades rain on through, it's going to basically come down to how much damage can Android do from this close angle. Flash going to be making its way out. He's going to get spotted down. coL does find him. Depth gets a return, but Yell is there to trade things out, ultimately in favor of LG as they continue to storm onto the site. The rotates come through from Complexity. They've also got Ape on the flank. Destiny is primed and ready, waiting for him in pop.
Nice peek out from Uber. He'll take down Shiz, and that's going to be the trade that comes in. Destiny manages to get himself another one, and well, it seems like the CT side may be able to trade this one back. Surreal has managed to get a kill, but really looking at Yell, and they've thrown a Molotov onto the bomb. It may be a little bit early. There's still a kid onto Uber, but it will deny them for now to get anywhere near it. The tag's going to come out onto Uber as well. He still kept the Galil from that second round, looking to try and keep it a little bit longer. We'll find one more, and well, it looks like he will have to fall back. The Galil may just live one more day. He's pretty close to that bomb though, and well, low on HP, he will fall. So Surreal will be the only one to save another round on the board for LG as they start things off strong.
Yeah, Uber being a huge fan of going down to the bomb. Bit of a repeat of what we saw the other time, of course, in the previous game against Immortals. But LG, they pick up the 4th round on the board. Complexity off to a bit of a rocky start. They do keep the AWP on Surreal for him to try and wreak some havoc with. But on the rest of the players, they'll be buying down a couple of pistols here and there. LG, on the other hand, plenty of rifles, plenty of utility to try and play around with. And they'll be making their way, spreading it across the map, trying to grab as much control as they can. Sending Destiny in towards the B site. Is going to be flashing Surreal out of place. The nade is while finding good damage, puts him down to 50 HP straight off the bat. And now he's able to pull back and play a passive angle in towards Connector. So they win control of the tunnels over towards B.
Control is something to play with at least, but in terms of the weaponry, well, that's where LG really do have the advantage. There isn't too much to play with, just some pistols. Uber has a little bit of extra cash after saving for so long with that Galil. He hasn't actually had to buy, and meaning he will have some money to spare. Will actually peek out and find the kill. Of course, not earning too much off the back, but the loss of the T is what really adds value. And got quite a nice little bit of control over Pop, and with Shuz actually looking in that direction, maybe they'll get a little bit of love their way. There is also the rotation of the bomb coming back towards the B site. Only one man actually remains on B, and that is going to be Ape. The AWP was rotating backwards and forwards, but it has moved away from the site, and well, that should give quite an easy position now for Luminosity to get themselves out, get the bomb down. The only real problem is that there is a very quick rotation available as the control of Pop is in play.
Yeah, Ape's going to be dropped straight away, and while the rotate already inbound, Surreal going to be trying to make his way through Connector, and Android and Def coming in from behind through PopDog, like you said. Rightfully so, the rotate's going to be fairly fast and aggressive, but Surreal falling on back. No one here to support for him or trade out and go save the AWP. He's going to be looking to take this one very passively and get out of there with the AWP if he can. Android running through like lambs to the slaughter. He's going to go down, and Def as well, probably not going to be faring too well here. Actually finds one on a Destiny, which is a little bit of damage done at least, so they do take down 2 members of LG. But there we go. There's Yell just coming up trumps with the Deagle. Takes him down. Surreal able to find one out on a Shiz, who does go hunting. But now he's got to try and contend with the fact that these 2 LG players have a rough idea as to where he is. And coL, well, he's right round the corner, making his way down Ivy. Surreal's just going to have to try and wait this one out with the AWP.
Here we go. Surreal. He's going to get the frag. So no problem in terms of who they've lost. Managed to keep that AWP into the next round, which is going to leave Surreal with a hell of a lot of cash if they need to buy back up. But it's looked like everybody's all good at this point in time. Uber, well, he has the decision to go maybe for a secondary AWP, and that is in fact what he's going to do. So plenty of utility, plenty of AWPs. And well, they've got kits on every single player, so this is the ideal buy now coming in for Complexity. They didn't get the good start as suggested, and LG so far on the T side have looked like the better team.
Yeah, that is definitely going to... you know, I mean, they've got 5 rounds ready on the side of the T's. They find the early pick on a Surreal. Now B site now completely open. Destiny could discover that if he went aggressive. He's going to be biding his time. Don't want him to give the advantage back to the side of Complexity. Of course, he didn't know this site was empty. Now Ape's rotated in, so they do have a player there. But I mean, as a result, you can see this A site is going to be suffering on the back of it. Only 3 players to hold this one down. Uber in towards Ivy as well, trying to spot out a couple of frags at least. Showtime is there, he knows it, but he's not going to be expecting Yell in a very close proximity. He's, of course, the counter-AWPer on the side of LG, and he has proven to be a very talented player with the AWP indeed so far. Uber just ready and waiting, biding his time. He's going to be throwing out the Molotov to delay the push, and at that point, it's looking like LG might be thinking about potentially making their way out onto the B site as they rotate Shiz as well up towards Destiny. That does also
quite a bit of utility left, but both teams starting to utilize quite a lot of it with still 55 seconds left on the board. The split has actually rotated back away. We see Complexity putting a little bit more presence over towards this B site, although the rotation suggests that LG are actually going to go back. Team starting to utilize quite a lot of it with still 55 seconds left on the board. The split has actually rotated back away. We see Complexity putting a little bit more presence over towards this B site, although the rotation suggests that LG are actually going to go back towards A.
Yeah, PK as well being over towards A main is suggesting once again they're going to go for the famed A split. It's worked for them, what, like 2-3 times now? Makes sense to be trying it again. They are at the man disadvantage. They do have a little bit of utility to try and play around with. They've got control of Pop. And with only 3 players here for the side of Complexity, it's a good read on the situation. Molotov out from Android is going to be a little bit late, so it doesn't delay the push. And as a result, that utility is going to be basically put to waste. He does find 1 frag, though, in spite of that. Finds a second as well. PKL's going to fall now. It's all showtime. 1 versus 4. He's got a lot of work to do with this AWP, but only 10 seconds to do it in. He's going to be up against the clock, to say the least. Now opting to fall on back. Doesn't want to make this one work. And it's going to get tagged down low as Uber does find some damage onto him on the back of the AWP. Showtime, 18 HP, just backing on out of there. Going to be looking to take that into round number 8. Complexity, they get their second round on the board as they shut down the push.
Yeah, nice opening pick as well. The things just seem to fall apart, really, for LG as well. They tried to get their way back into the round, but Android was just there to finish things off. 1 AWP onto Showtime, of course, saved from the last round. And other than that, it's just P250, so Complexity with the chance to get themselves rolling. After what was a pretty poor start to the game, Def is looking to make himself some money. He's got the SMG, Showtime with the AWP, and, well, that's going to be lost early on. The rest of the players don't have any armor. The Molotov will come out, and Def is just going to start farming up these frags. They can't even retrieve the AWP, and as they do, the nade will jump in. Doesn't actually kill either of them, but both of them exceedingly low at this stage. AWP will be picked up by Yell, so the AWPer for the team with the AWP in hand suggests that maybe there's something he can do. But now they're getting, well, a lot of pressure on this site. Come out from Def. He does take a lot of damage, but that's already a 3rd kill on the books.
Yeah, he might not be able to see them, but my god, could his bullets feel them. He's already got 3 frags, looking for a couple more as he makes his way out. Flash is going to allow him to find that one out of Shiz. Here's out, yeah, looking for the ace. He's done so much damage. Can he get it? He gets it. That's going to be the ace for Complexity. And sure, they didn't have armor, but it's still with an MP9. I'm just celebrating for the dollars, as that's going to be, what, a total of $3,000 there on the back of Def. What?
He got a pistol kill.
Oh, did he? Oh, damn.
I've ruined your math, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's only 2,400. That's a shame. But, oh well, I mean, you know, that's still a nice chunk sum of money. I'm going to just retract my hype statement, though, for the amount of cash he just earned. And
it's still 2,700. He gets 300 for...
That's not good enough. Now I don't want to talk about it.
Surreal,
meanwhile, putting things to work. It does take down one of Destiny. Finds a second on a Shiz as well. Android rotating through. Manages to back him up. Finds one on a Showtime. Surreal still going huge. Picks up a 3rd frag. So it's just been back-to-back fragging here for Complexity. They come up into this one in a big way. And it's going to be Surreal this time to answer the call. Picking up 3 frags. Android on 2. And those 2 players alone just locking that round down.
Yeah, no excuses in terms of armor that time. LG were ready and fighting, and they didn't actually manage to achieve anything. Triple AWP setup coming up for Complexity at the moment as they try and bring everything back. And, well, they're just going to go all in, pretty much. This is just pick play at its best. Already the first shot missed from Ape, and he will look to fall back towards the site. Of course, in terms of long range, everything's peachy. The problem is if the bomb goes down and they're forced to attack, well, maybe there's an opportunity there for the T side to actually come out with a round that they don't particularly, or they're not supposed to get, I suppose. They are going to go rushing onto the B site relatively soon. 1 flashbang all they have in hand onto Destiny, and he's also the only player with any Kevlar to play with. Now, both AWPs are set on positions ready and waiting. Now, you have to remember, with no smokes, this should be very, very easy for the AWPs to pick up, but we'll see if they can actually get past them and get themselves a bomb plant.
Yeah, like you say, I mean, the long-range superiority should be coming into effect with no smokes. Ape's going to be able to fumble that shot somehow. That does do good damage on a Yell, but that's going to be it. Jumps up, finds himself 1, so does, you know, make up for his shortcomings. Android rotating through, finds 1, and there we go. There's the cleanup. Android with a second, And the Molotov just cooking EL to
it almost stops him. It almost denies him getting the plant, but he literally gets it down as he burns alive. So he sits there cooking, but it's worth it for the plant for sure. They'll get themselves the extra money, and well, we can see them getting themselves an AWP onto Yell straight away. I think PS can try and get himself an AWP as well, but he doesn't. He's going to go for the AK. So it will be less of the pick play and more of the strategy. They've got plenty of utility to play with, and so far we haven't seen too much strategy coming out from the LG side. They've just tried to force the issue, going very, very aggressive. Now, in terms of def, he's actually bought a rifle as well, so that he can play with the AWP and then pick up the rifle if he needs it. That's how much money they have.
Yeah, and I mean, something's telling me he will be needing the rifles at some point. You have already got two really talented AWPers on the side, but I mean, Train is one where you can actually kind of break out a third AWP. It is viable just because of, you know, the angles are so long and you're so exposed out into the A site. So already seeing him picking that one up and then playing it up on top of the Train, I feel like that's a nice touch as well. Takes a few pop shots, throws the AWP away, switches out to the rifle, and then can be used up close. But anyway, this year on Android, going to be going aggressive, try and get some information off the bat. Doesn't spot anyone out for LG. The danger is this could be a bit of a missed call because he goes in towards that A main area, can't find anyone. And now, like, you can already see the kind of the fruits of what just happened. Surreal's rotated in towards that B site. LG potentially might be playing straight into their hands, so looking like they want to try rotating potentially in towards that B site. You've got two players on their way there now. And Showtime being the only one over towards A, so he's, of course, going to be adopting that lurk role.
Yeah, once again, it will be the AWP of Surreal trying to hold the long-range angle. Possibility for a peek at the moment from 8th. He's up very, very close to the upper position, and maybe he'll be able to find something sat in that corner. Of course, 30 seconds left. They have to go for this now, getting ready to set up and push, and well, Surreal is holding basically to defend off against his teammate, and will do just that. Now the problems begin, as there's going to be a player sat in that corner. Will he keep actually holding, as PKL will look to push out from the same position? Missed shot from Surreal as the push will come in, and while it's quick trades, but seemingly maybe the CTs have got this one. Quick again, as we see SHZ pick up the kill, and while that will only leave a 2 versus 2. Android coming in from behind at the moment, and maybe he can be the one to bring this one home. Of course, they still haven't one AWP left, and they're actually going to peek into Showtime, or peek into Android.
Yep, now it's all is going to be going for it, but Uber is faster on the trigger. Takes him down and picks Complexity up a 6th round as a result. It was looking good for LG as they made their way out of the site. The trades actually end up going, you know, somewhat in their favor of Complexity, but then they close it out, finding a frag onto Def as he pushes into the site. Ultimately, though, it comes down to that 2-on-2, and the aim holds true for Uber and Android on the flank. So they do manage to secure a 6th on the board for the CT side.
Yeah, of course, the other thing the CTs really have at the moment is their money. They've got so much of it to play with that really it doesn't matter too much what actually happens in this position. Of course, it has now been 6 rounds in a row for Complexity, so a slow start that has actually turned around quite significantly for them. If they can get themselves all the way back to 10, that would be quite an impressive run of rounds. Of course, Yell now back on the aerial. There's a good opportunity to actually find the 1v1 as PKL just round the corner. Now, it's quite a common spot to hold, and actually he's going to go peeking, but the no-scope will be missed, and LG will get themselves around. So after 6 rounds in a row, Complexity are to lose one. Of course, as said, the money is ludicrous at this point. They will be getting the AWPs back in play, and the CT side definitely with the better buy in hand. It does look like the Ts are going to be pretty reasonable in what they actually have on the board, and in fact they will get full utility up, so not too much of a problem just yet. It's whether or not they'll be able to continue this if they lose the next round. Now, in terms of a 6-6, the Ts should be pretty happy with that, but when you take it into context that they were 5-0 up, it hasn't been going so well as of recent. We'll see whether or not Complexity are going to almost crash out of it like they did last time, or if they can just win the next round and look to continue with their win streak.
Yeah, and while it's going to be looking like that is what on the card. Uber finds that first down to Yell. It's going to be the man advantage leaning the way of Complexity straight off the bat. And LG famously struggling to be playing from the man deficit. Showtime trying to trade things out, put it back into a 4-on-4. Might be able to do so. Finds that shot on Uber. He's going to get tagged down in the process, but through the smoke still heralds a kill in for the side of LG. So it's going to be back into a 4-on-4. 3 members of LG over towards this B site, looking like they want to try and push. And only Ape standing between them and that luscious bomb plant.
Yeah, he's not been doing too badly in this Catalyst role so far. Using his utility wisely, of course, doesn't have a Molotov at the moment, so he can't slow them all down at once. And they have actually just abandoned him at the moment. He's still alone. Rotations haven't been made just yet, and PKL straight through the smoke once again. The only frags they're finding at the moment until Destiny ends the life of Surreal, and it looks like the Brazilians are back. They found themselves in a two-man advantage. Android looking to peek back in. It will be him and Def to try and bring this round back into contention, but the likelihood is slim.
Yeah, that Molotov delays the push enough for it to become completely unviable. I mean, you have Def on the other side of the map who was already unsure, very, very skeptical, holding back, waiting to see if Android could find anything. That Molotov delays it to the point where, you know, the call is going to be made to save. Def is too far away to have any impact into it, just trying to hold on to the AWP. And Android now falls on back as well, but keeps a much more aggressive angle. Of course, it matters a lot less if they lose the M4 than if they lose the AWP, because the money on the side of Complexity is going to be, you know, fairly okay. You've got about $6,000 on a few of the players. $2,000 on Def is the only kind of concerning value, but as they you know, lose that round, it is going to be bumped up, so they can afford to buy no matter the cause.
He has a rifle as well, so either way it would be switched over. So saving a couple of weapons is definitely going to help them keep their money rolling. Now, considering they got 6 rounds in a row and there's still a chance that they'll lose the half, it does sort of swing back, and you can say, well, maybe they should be getting at least the last 2 rounds. Of course, in terms of LG and winning the half, that would be wonderful, but it's still not really sure how their CT side is going to stack up. We've already seen problems with the CT side coming out in the last game, and well, maybe Complexity will be the ones to actually isolate those problems and really push onto them. Of course, Ape, well, this time he's not alone. He does have the support of the AWP of Surreal, and he's going to open things up with a frag onto Destiny. Yell quickly available to trade, and Ape, well, he's got a job to do now. He needs to keep this as long as possible. The push from Pop can't really come in. There's somebody holding the angle in PKL, but at the same time, without the bomb going down, that position doesn't have too much value. It's sort of like a lurk roll of Happy. If there's nothing going on the site, you can't really lurk too effectively. In PKL, he has had to come back around to help his team, and so far, well, so good. Him and Yella combining to open up this round once more, but the flank can now come in, and the spray Android doesn't quite connect onto the second. 1 versus 1. Ape to try and save this.
Yeah, Ape finds himself in a 1 versus 1, but PKL only on 33 HP as he makes his way in towards this A site. Is going to be at the disadvantage. Should be able to get that bomb down as Ape takes the longer rotate through. Actually going to be planting it in a fairly good position for him currently, but he has very little information as to where Ape is. Does hear him out though on the rotate. So currently, both of them just working their way around, and actually they're going to be walking straight past each other. Not going to be able to spot either player out. Ape's out on the site as PKL makes his way through over towards CT, now making his way back in towards A, and Ape quicker on the mark. Does take him down. That round going to be going the way of the Complexity. It's going to go 7-7 and all tied up. The next round, of course, will be deciding who wins the half. And, well, LG, they're going to go into it with, you know, a fairly okay buy, thanks to the $7,200 on the back of PKL.
Yeah, the bomb definitely helps them in getting that buy on the board. And they will be able to drop a couple of weapons. Of course, the CTs, well, they're going to have the double op setup back in play, and I think that's been fairly good for them. The rounds they managed to string together. You look at the people AWPing, Uber and Surreal. Surreal definitely having a much better showing than we saw on Cash, and, well, now we look to see if they can actually win the half. That's the big problem, because even though they got all those rounds together, if they don't even win the half, you're still sort of wondering how things have actually gone on train for them. The peak will come out. Nice shot from Def to start things off. And it will be the man advantage for the CT side. And, well, as has been said previously, it can be the struggle now for LG to get themselves back into the round. Last time they had Showtime to get the shot with the AWP. This time, well, he's got a rifle and will be looking to do the same.
Yeah, Uber not ready to go at this position just yet, though. He's been holding down Ivy to a T, and as a result, Showtime, he has to fall on back. He has to just, you know, take that one on the chin as it is and just let them have control of Ivy. As a result, most likely going to be seeing some sort of a split either through A main and Pop, or splitting out on towards B, something that LG have been doing a lot previously, and as they do get shut out of Ivy, it wouldn't surprise me if that's kind of that last-ditch effort. But, you know, the positioning currently of the LG members does kind of prove something a little bit different. Shiz making his way down through Pop, trying to find this frag on Android, who's pushed up very aggressively. Damage being exchanged back and forth. Ultimately, it's going to be
oh god,
not going to just go to the way of no one for the time being. Showtime actually has to come through and mop that one up. That was incredibly messy for both teams. It's going to be a 4-on-3. Make that a 3-on-3 as Surreal's able to find one out on towards Yell to equalize out these numbers. Shiz, though, not going to be ready for things to happen that way just yet. Does take down Def, who was the only player kind of within range of the site to actually keep them at bay. Now Ape rotating through connector. Thanks to that smoke missing its mark as it be dropped by Showtime. It's all going to fall in a surreal 1 versus 3. 3 Brazilians yet to find, and it's all in the hands of the UK AWPer.
Oh, well, you said it now, haven't you? 3 players to find. He's got to get the pick. One of them on the site as well, ready to peek. The timing is not going to be there as coL finishes him off, and well, the UK scene will, well, pretty much be just left once again. Decent half, though, it has to be said. Ape down the bottom of the board, but really it just seemed as a whole the slow start is what killed them, because 5-0 down. To come back to 8-7, it's not the worst position in the world, but you have to remember then it went 6-6 and they still lose the half. So the complexity definitely going to have to do better on their T side. They will look to work into this one. Now, they definitely have more time on their T side than before, so that's something to say at least, because they got 4 rounds after getting 5 the last time. If they can get 8 rounds after getting 7, then hey, that's overtime at least. So maybe there's an opportunity for them on the T side. As I said, we've got to wait and see what LG actually have on the CT side of Train. Haven't heard too many good things as of yet, especially after their match against Optic, but it has to be said, in terms of comparing Optic and Complexity, they're a different beast altogether.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Real problem as well is once again the Ape Nash just falling off, as it were. He's currently got 6 frags, coming in right at the bottom of the leaderboard once again. A fairly underwhelming performance in the last map. It's kind of returning, bearing on his mind, and oh, that was no, we'll just stay away from that one. Oh, no, I've lost a little bit of respect. But it's 8-7 currently. LG, respect. They have the 1-round advantage. And currently, they have stacked quite a few players in towards Pop. It's going to be coL on his own and on towards that A site with the rest of his team, all just funneled into the tiny little room with the ladder in. Has become known as Pop Dog. They make their way out towards the B site, though currently that's going to be the lurk player in the form of Android. He gets taken down, and now as the bomb looks like it was head on in the Pop, Ape quickly realizes how much of a terrible idea that is, because there's just 3 Brazilians in here, all with Oosps primed and ready to go. They take him down. Uber's going to fall as well, and now it's Surreal and Def who have to try and clutch this one out. Make that just Def. He's in a 1 versus 5. They're surrounding him from all angles like vultures, and well, he's going to be in a very, very compromising situation indeed.
Well, yeah, if vultures are surrounding you, that normally means you're death or close to death, and well, that's going to be it for Def. And well, I have to say that little crossfire in Pop was actually probably the smallest crossfire ever. They were literally like standing back to back in their positions, and well, you sort of drop it into that little triangle of players, and everything goes wrong. Either way, that will be Luminosity getting the pistol, not helping Complexity out any more than already. And well, in terms of this round Complexity, then again, they are going to invest into this one, which is not something we've seen too much from them. They've actually been fairly good at just keeping their money. They don't want to spend it up ready in these pistol rounds, but they're going to get themselves the smokes, clearly looking for the minimum of a bomb plant, and well, a lot of smokes to be thrown in, plenty of utility to play with, and they're going to go rushing in relatively soon.
Yeah, they're outside of this A site. Ape finds the first down, and that's going to go untraded. Does manage to grab himself an MP9 as well. Try and play around with Def, finds one onto coL. The trade could be coming through from Yell, but he switches that to the USP. Somehow still finds the headshot, though, and does take down Def. As a result, it's going to be a 2 versus 4. Bomb's going down. Showtime's close enough to stop it, but doesn't spot it out. And now going to be going for the redemption. It's going to get dropped on the back of it. It all falls onto Yell. 3 HP and a Dream. A little bit of utility to try and play around with as well. To be fair, Complexity, they're all fairly low HP. They are all dead in 1 shot to the Scout. Only issue is, Yell's dead in, I don't know, like the slightest gust of wind in his general direction. And as a result, it's looking like he might opt to save. 3 HP, not going to be enough for the retake of the A site.
Yeah, he does have to be very careful, especially when you look at the sort of weaponry. A couple of SMGs can just come running and spraying towards him, so maybe wanting to just fall back a little bit here, and he's actually going to lose his life. So Uber will remove the Scout from play, not going to have anything of that sort going into the next round, and it does mean that the break comes straight back. And well, considering this is one of the first times I've actually seen Complexity properly force, I'm a little bit frustrated that they don't always force, because that worked wonderfully. They were hitting every single shot with the P250s, just ending lives all across the board. Showtime with the M4 had no impact at all, and well, you look at the buy coming back up, it is limited. Yell and Shiz going to be saving. Destiny will at least still start things off with a kill onto Android.
Yeah, takes him down on the aggressive play out towards A, and you can already see that's forced the rotation for Complexity. They don't want to try make it out towards the A site now. They've already lost a player there. So instead, going to be trying their luck in towards B. Uber to find the first frag, takes down Showtime. It's going to signal their approach, and as a result, if they were a little bit quicker off the mark, then we would have been seeing them just pouring in towards that B site. Sadly, though, that smoke being there does slow things down, so now they're looking a little bit uncertain. The rotate has come through from LG. They've put 3 players, and Destiny, meanwhile, in towards A, still doing work with that AK's been able to scavenge. Finds 1 frag out in a def, puts it into a 3-on-4, and PKL landing shots through the smoke. Finds 1 onto Surreal, 26 HP now. The T-side player, Uber, to back up his teammates, does take down Yells. He tries to go aggressive through the smoke. Gets it back into a 3-on-3, but PKL not ready to give up just yet, just delivering justice with the scout in hand. Finds a frag out onto Surreal.
This leaves it with 2 players left to try and defend that bomb. PKL will miss the shot, but finds the second onto Ape, leaving just Uber to save this one for his team. Now, there isn't a kid in play at the moment, but it's not going to matter. PKL is a beast with the scout. 3 kills, and that is a way, well, an interesting way to retake the site.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was insane. Forget, you know, scouting for girls. He was scouting for heads, as that was probably the worst one that we've ever done. Yeah, he's going to find 3 huge frags on the back of that, though. That was honestly incredible to win the round out for LG, and it's going to allow them to maintain the 2-round advantage they have over Complexity. Complexity, though, forcing up, going to be trying to bring the issue straight back in the form of 3 AKs and 2 Tech 9s with a good bit of utility across the board.
Yeah, this is basically for the prominent position in the map. Of course, we will see Force Buy after Force Buy until 2 rounds come in. But Def, oh, he's going to be taking the head clean off of Yell, starting things off nicely with an entry. Of course, he's down to just 4 HP. Has to be very careful, and he is not. PKL will finish him off. Showtime spraying away, but while the show will not go on as he is finished himself, and that is going to be back to a 3v3.
Yeah, Complexity been able to get themselves into a favourable position out on towards the B side. They get the bomb down as well. Destiny, the only player who can immediately do something about it. The rest rotating through, but it does find 1. The trade comes through from PKL, who swaps out the scout for the M4. 2 frags with it currently, showing he can do that just as well, but it's going to be Shiz at the end to find 2 of his own, and that's the defuse on the board for LG.
Yeah, they will clean things up. They will get the 2nd in the row. Bomb Plant will give a little bit of money over to the T side to play with, but not enough to actually have a buy on the board. So it does mean that they will get some pistols or something to play with. And I would actually quite like to just to see them go with Kevlar and P250. Uber gets the idea. They seem to do quite well with that and get some smokes on the board. So that's exactly what they're going to do. So they pulled this off once. Of course, the buy that was on the other side of things was much more SMG heavy. So not so much of an avenue for mistakes to be made, but they are going to go for a setup, and well, this was something that they were quite good at previously. Let's see if it works out again. Bomb Plant is sort of the minimum they want to achieve. Anything else? Well, let's see if they can get some frags, I guess. Missed shot from Yell. It's going to have to fall back a little bit, as the closer those pistols get, the more deadly they are. The bomb will be going around the side, basically utilizing the smokes, and well, we're already going to lose 1. Surreal, he takes PKL. There is now a weapon on the floor. Def has found another one, but it's still trades coming in this upper position, doing a lot of work, and the jump down will do the damage. Does a little bit of damage to his teammate as well. Surreal is the last one left alive, and he's actually going to bring it back to a 1 versus 1. The defuse coming in. This is really risky, but it seems like it might just pay off. Surreal is about to lose the round. Pros don't fake. That's what they say.
Yeah, and that's going to allow LG to pick up round at number 12. Complexity must be kicking themselves because, you know, he got on there and just held down the defuse button. Ultimately, it's going to...
It wasn't a bad round, though.
Oh, no, definitely not. They go into it just with pistols. They come up with a bomb plant and a load of damage
4 kills, yeah,
onto the side of LG. That's exactly what they wanted. It was the order of the day. This round, though, a little bit different. They'll be sending 2 players in towards that B site off the bat, leaving 8 in mid, setting Android as well down in towards Ivy, trying to take control of all the major avenues of the map. Showtime looking like he was going to try and challenge against Uber a little bit, now opting to fall back more passively in towards that B site. And then there's 4 players for LG in towards A.
Yeah, this is, of course, where Showtime is left as the catalyst player. A lot of damage done through the smoke there. Almost the loss of PKL. He goes down to just 8 HP. Well, although the T's will not know how much they've actually done, it will help them out later. Again, they're going to go for a setup. Whether or not they'll actually push out, well, it looks like they will. They are going to go and pick up that bomb, although maybe it's going to be the B side. This has all just been a fake. They will drag the players a little bit further forward to try and find out some information. Def is going to be the fake player as they push in. But now they need to capitalize on this advantage. Shure's going to find another. This leaves just Showtime to push down, but they've already lost a couple of players. Even on the retake, this should be doable for the Luminosity side. And if Showtime takes anybody else with them, well, that's just an advantage. And well, there we go. 5 versus 2 on this retake. Make that 5 versus 1. Uber, well, he's got a dream. He's got a prayer, and he's got to live right on the edge of it. Finds one, but he's down to just 12 HP as he tries to maneuver his way around the site. And Yell, he's going to finish this one off comfortably.
Yeah, and for those of you who missed it just then, Tom was quoting a Bon Jovi song. I know you want some credit for that joke, but it's going to be 13-8.
It's inspirational.
5 rounds of the difference currently between these two teams. LG, though, storming ahead in the latter stage of this. Since they switched onto the CT side, they've been incredibly strong. Although that said, Complexity have planted every single round.
And they've got 8 rounds, so you could say they're halfway there. More Bon Jovi.
I know. That time it was disgust. I mean, the first time it was creative. The second time, no, just utter disappointment. We're going to be seeing a buy on the cards for Complexity. 4 rifles, lots of utility, and then AWP up on Surreal in towards B. Showtime's going to be going aggressive. The first time he's done that yet, it's going to allow him to find that frag on Uber and maintain the one-man advantage on the side of LG. Saying that as well, PKL chimes in down in towards Ivy, completely dominating Surreal. Takes him off the grid entirely, and now it's Def, Android, and Ape to try and make something happen.
Yeah, of course. Struggling a little bit now on their T side. They've managed to get the bombs down, which is something, but it's the retakes that are coming out from LG. They need to win them the rounds, even when they have scouts in play. AWP has been picked up by Def. Something that may be able to find them a pick. Of course, there's still a minute left on the clock. They've lost a lot of their team early into the round. Can he actually spot the leg? No, but he hits the other player instead. Just flicks straight up to Destiny. And, well, that's at least an avenue for them to work with. Now, all 3 players coming through main, so there's the opportunity to trade. The only problem is they need to trade very effectively, and Yell, well, he has other ideas. So does Shuz, and well, this is just going to leave Ape left to try and fight this one back. He's got 35 seconds left on the clock. He hasn't been the pinnacle player for this team, and he's not going to be in this round either.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ape, he's been fairly consistently bottom of the barrel right now for their side. Saying that, he's actually fragging the same as Android. If when we do get back in, we can take a look at the scoreboard. On the side of Complexity, it's not going to be that strong. The fragging power has kind of dropped off a little bit in the second half. 10 frags on Android, who, you know, you pointed out as your star player in the previous match.
Well, I think he was.
Oh, yeah, no, he definitely was. I'm not trying to bombard
just
saying,
the way you said that, it was like, well, you said.
No, he was undisputably the key to victory there in the first half. Well, it wasn't a victory, but, you know, the potential key to victory in the first half.
They did win the first half, at least. But, yeah, no, he fell off quite badly, and it was the T side where he was actually quite prominent as well on Cash. I feel like that may be just more of that map. I feel like in terms of Cash, it can be a lot easier to actually get entries, and sometimes in the map it seems like he knows a little bit better. And well, as you're currently highlighting rapidly on our sort of PC, our caster PC, I suppose, he is not fragged yet on the T side. No,
and that means what, in the last 8 rounds he hasn't been able to pick up a frag, which
it's not good, is it?
No, I mean, all 10 that he has managed to get have been in the first half. So, yeah, it has been a little bit of an absence from him. Ape this time has been able to pick up 4 frags, which is all good. He has actually done a better job of making his way back up onto the leaderboard, to give him some credit. It is going to be 14-8, though, and this tactical pause is much needed on the side of Complexity. It is going to mean that hopefully they can try and come back into this. But the issue is, we speak about it a lot. Do you think they've left this pause far too late? I mean, there's so many other times it could have been called in.
It wasn't really a question, was it? That was quite rhetorical.
Oh, no, it was entirely rhetorical. Because, I mean, like, when you take a look at it, LG, they took the last 5 rounds consecutively, and in amongst all that, Complexity were able to steal 1 out from underneath them. The pause should have been rounds ago, because now Complexity, what? They have the tiniest margin for error, and Complexity have shown if their fans are one thing, and consistently good at one thing, it is just errors.
Yeah, they're not really the team that you look to string a whole lot of rounds together, and they've done all right. Like, they sort of had that 8-2 position, but there was still 2, and that's more than they can afford to lose. So, well, the start's not going to go much better of this round, as Yell will open things up. They're all in the same position at the moment, which means any spam, any nades, is going to do a hell of a lot of damage. It does make it more likely for a trade, and they will get the bomb down. The problem is they've already lost another player, and this seems to be the case in many a round. They get the bomb down, but unfortunately there's no one left to defend it, and well, it is Ape. He would pretty much have to go straight up that board if he was going to finish it, and before I can even finish the sentence, they finish him off.
Yeah,
a lot of finishing.
They arrive at match point, 15-8. They win the last 6 consecutively to get here. And well, it's
so whose
been
pick was this map?
Oh, wow, okay, yeah. But yeah, no, they win the last 6 consecutively to get here. It's going to be Complexity trying to buy down, defend this off. But the only issue is they have to try and prevent 7 match points in a row if they want to force this through to overtime. So they are going to be fighting an uphill battle to the point where it's almost entirely vertical. And right now they've got 5 AKs to try and make this work, like we say. Over towards B. Showtime and Yell going aggressive. Sorry, Showtime and Destiny going aggressive early on. Might want to find one frag. Who's going to be able to get the first? And Surreal trades thing back in favor of Complexity. It's going to be a 3-on-4. They use this aggression as well to try and make their way in towards the B site with 3 players already being out, primed and ready. Bomber's going to be making its way down any second now. And they have also got Def behind enemy lines, keeping PKL from rotating off of A.
Yeah, no, Def's position is going to be one of the most valuable, especially if he can come in from the flank. Because at the moment, they are playing in a way that I'm not particularly a fan of, but it does seem to be working. They're playing very passively, allowing the CTs to move forward. Luckily for them, they are hitting their shots, and, well, that's definitely going to be a helpful factor, at least. Def does have an impact towards the end as he falls back into the clutches of one of those CTs. And, well, it's going to be 15-9, so Complexity have got themselves back. They have a round at least. It is a long, long way to go, of course. 6 rounds in a row needed, and that's not something they've been able to do too well too far. They managed it on the CT side, actually. They did get exactly 6 rounds in a row, so they've done it once. Obviously, this time they're on the less favored side of the map, and they haven't been doing too well on it. So we'll wait and see whether or not they can pull out a ridiculous amount of rounds. And, well, Yell, yet again, is going to be starting things off with an AWP pick.
Yeah, but Surreal goes aggressive. He's able to get one out on a Destiny. Looking for more Ape. Chiming in one of his own. Takes down PKL. And Surreal not ready to give up just yet. It's actually going to be Ape to find the second frag. Takes down Shiz and saves the life of Surreal in that situation. Leaving it on Yell and Showtime in this 2 versus 4. But look at this positioning coming in from Yell right now. He's snuck in behind enemy lines. Misses the AWP shot on the stationary player of all frags. He's been able to land some incredible shots so far. And then, you know, misses the easiest. But everybody gets one. Saying, well, as Showtime makes his way to the site, he's able to take down Surreal, puts it back into a 2-on-3, not ready to give up just yet, takes down Ape as well. So now it's a 2-on-2, the trade's going back and forth, but ultimately, LG actually able to put things back somewhat in their favor. Time's ticking down, but they have got more HP. Def finds Showtime. Yell's going for the defuse though, and he's not going to be shot just yet. He's got 41 HP.
God.
There's more than enough time for him to get that. They don't find the frag, and LG, they win it out. Complexity must be kicking themselves.
I love how, because it's the last round, it freezes their position, shows how close they were to that bomb. They're not able to get the clutch. And, well, great play from Showtime. They weren't even going to go for this up until this point. He gets the 2 kills, but yeah, again, just the balls on Yell. He's just going to go straight down and find that defuse. They spray away at him, and I've seen it before, and it's happened again, and that's just horrible. That's not going to work out for them, and that's the way they actually lose the game. So yeah, it's not really a great position to go into. Of course, I think we are going to go straight into the next map. Of course, it's the same map, so to do a sort of post-game and then analysis and then go into the next one,
yeah,
I don't think it would make too much sense to do that. So I reckon we'll be back shortly after the break, and we will go and come straight back to us, I imagine.